Hello, Student PilotCast listeners. Welcome to audio episode 15. I'm moving into stage 3 now, and that means night flights and cross countries and all sorts of new cool stuff. In this episode, though, we'll cover my first flight in stage 3, in which my instructor worked with me on VORs and basic instrument flying. And that, of course, means some hood time.
Chandler Tower, Cherokee 4121 Tango is at Chandler Air Service. We have Zulu, and we'd like a south departure, please.
What does it say to be an angel? Where does the sun go when it sleeps? Is every star
Okay, so in my last episode, I was prepping for my stage 2 stage check. Well, I'm happy to say that it went pretty well. I learned a lot, especially about engine-out emergency procedures when you're high over your chosen landing spot, and a few other things as well. I even landed for the first time on a dirt strip during that stage check. Very cool. I'm now officially in stage 3, which will involve night flights as well as cross countries. So let's get started. As I said before, in this lesson, Larry had me working on VOR tracking, intercepting radials, and flying by instruments. But let me back up just a little bit. My wife recently took a road trip with our kids, and she decided that she would subscribe to my podcast on her Zune and listen while she drove. Up to this point, she hadn't really been listening or watching the episodes, except for when I would play parts for her, but being a supportive wife, she decided to familiarize herself a little bit with what I'd been working on for the past couple of months. Well, I think she got through about 6 episodes or so while she was on that trip. It probably wasn't more than that because for someone like her who has little interest in the technical aspects of aviation, it was definitely put-you-to-sleep material, which doesn't mix well with driving. One thing I did hear her mention, though, later was that when the in-cockpit audio portions came on, she would kind of tune out because none of it made any sense to her. This got me thinking. Maybe there's some people listening who are somewhat interested in aviation but don't know that much about it. For that reason, I'll try to explain a little bit more about what's going on as I produce the casts. I'm sure I'll still gloss over some stuff, so if any listeners have any questions, please drop me a line at bill@studentpilotcast.com, and I'll try and answer them, maybe in a future episode. For those of you that do know a lot about aviation and understand all of these things, well, I guess you're just going to have to be a little bit patient with me. Bear with me as I spend a little bit more time explaining some of these things. Okay, so back to the lessons. To understand a little more about this lesson, you should understand a little more about how pilots navigate. There's 3 basic navigation techniques: pilotage, dead reckoning, and using nav aids or navigation aids that depend on something outside of the cockpit, like GPS satellites, radio broadcasts, etc. I'll go over each of these very briefly. Pilotage is arguably the most basic of navigation techniques, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's easy. Pilotage simply refers to the practice of looking outside of the aircraft and navigating using landmarks, roads, rivers, towns, etc., things that can be seen on the ground. Usually this technique is coupled with matching these landmarks with notations on charts, otherwise known as maps. Dead reckoning is the practice of using geometry and math to figure out which direction one should fly to get from point A to point B. Because there are variables such as wind direction and intensity, additional math needs to be done to figure out which direction to point the airplane to get it to follow the course figured out previously. The last technique involves using tools in the cockpit, such as GPS receivers, navigation radios, automatic direction finders, LORAN, etc. Those things work in conjunction with information provided from outside the airplane, such as GPS satellites, VHF omnidirectional range or VOR radios, non-directional beacons or NDBs, etc., to help the pilot A, know where he or she is, and B, know which direction he or she should go to get to where they want to be. All 3 of these techniques are important, and all must be taught and be understood by a private pilot candidate. During the next phase of my training, which includes cross-country flying, I must learn and use all of these techniques to demonstrate that I can find where I am and which way I should go. This day, one of the things I'd be practicing with Larry is working with VORs. A VOR is basically a radio station on the VHF or very high frequency band. This type of ground-based station transmits a series of pulses broadcast so that the VOR receiver in an airplane can tell what direction it is from the station. Without getting into the gory details of how this works, this simple information is very valuable to pilots when it comes to navigation. If you can imagine 360 lines coming out of this VOR, each 1 degree apart, all the way around, then you're halfway to understanding what the data is that the VOR receiver can give you. Each of these imaginary lines are referred to as radials, and each one has a name, which corresponds to its magnetic direction that it heads out from the VOR on. For instance, the radial which heads due south from the VOR is called the 180 radial because it's leaving the VOR at 180 degrees or south. The radial going east, likewise, would be referred to as the 090 radial. So with that background, it should make more sense when Larry asked me to do things like intercept radial 270, which simply means put the airplane on the radial from a particular VOR. There's more to it than that, such as to and from flags and many other things, but the basics should suffice for now. So I guess we can move on to the lesson. I'll start by playing the ATIS and ground calls.
Chandler Airport Information Uniform 1450 Zulu weather, wind calm, visibility 35, sky clear, temperature 26, dew point 6, altimeter 2983, visual approach in use, landing and departing runways 4 left and right. Noticed airmen, multiple obstructions in the vicinity of Chandler Airport up to 310 feet AGL. Departing aircraft, advise ground control direction of flight. Advise on initial contact. You have information uniform. Seneca 31110, Chandler ground taxi to runway 4 left via Alpha Delta. Say position on the ramp.
We're at hangar W2, Seneca 110.
Seneca 110, roger. Use caution for 2 Cherokees on taxiway Alpha.
All right, we'll watch the Cherokee, Seneca 110. Chandler ground, Cherokee 4122 Tangos, Chandler Air Service. We have information uniform, and we'd like to taxi to the active.
Cherokee 4122 Tango, Chandler ground taxi to runway 4 left via Alpha Delta.
4 left via Alpha Delta, and this is going to be a south departure, please.
Cherokee 22 Tango, roger.
After the run-up, we were ready to go. I'll let the conversation play between Larry and I. I asked Larry if he wants me to do a performance takeoff. Since I mostly need work on my performance landings, it didn't really matter which one I did here on the takeoff. I decided to do a soft field takeoff. Then I asked about calling the tower if we're ready in sequence, which means we call before we're first in line, just to establish our position in line, basically. Also, I make a mistake on the runway in my initial call, which I didn't even notice. So while reading back my hold short instruction, I said the wrong runway again. This time, the controller needed me to read this back correctly. So he said the instruction again and emphasized the correct runway. I finally got it. I was saying the reciprocal of the active runways. So I finally realized my mistake and corrected my readback while chuckling at myself. Then when we were cleared, we went ahead and took off. I'll let all of that play now.
Any special takeoff you want me to do?
Well, let's see. Since he was talking mainly about your landings, right? Yeah. Which one do you feel like you need the most practice on?
My takeoffs I feel like are pretty good, actually.
Okay.
I'll do a soft field.
That sounds good. Yeah. Soft field seems to be one
left via Alpha Delta.
Taxi runway 4 left via Alpha Delta. Remain with you. 56684.
Yeah, you wouldn't call in sequence here, right?
Seneca 3.
You could. I used to always do that. If there were other airplanes around, I might go ahead and just call in sequence.
Approved. Use caution.
But we're the only one that really can pull up there now. But yeah, if there's other airplanes and there was any doubt about, I wouldn't want somebody to get in front of me and I'm ready to go, I would call in sequence. But there's nobody else here. And all he's going to do, we know he's just going to call and tell us to hold right now, so we'll just wait till he rotates and we'll give him a call. Since there's nobody around, it'll help him a little bit. He has to say a few less words.
Just wait until he's wheels up and then...
Yeah, hold on another second. As soon as he rotates. Yeah, you could probably call him now. just go ahead and we're never going to catch him anyway. So.
Chandler Tower, Cherokee 4122 Tangos at 22 left, ready to go.
Cherokee 4122 Tango, Chandler Tower, hold short, runway 4 left.
He aborted his takeoff.
Holding short, 22 left.
And Cherokee 22 Tango, hold short, runway 4 left.
I'm sorry, hold short, 4 left, Cherokee 22 Tango.
Cherokee 22 Tango, thank you.
When he didn't rotate there, I go, yep, something's wrong.
Seneca 110, remain the Trixie, taxi to runway 4 left via Alpha Delta.
Alpha Delta 4 left, Seneca 110.
Yeah, trouble with that.
4122 Tango, Chandler Tower, fly runway heading runway 4 left, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 4 left, Cherokee 22 Tango.
Yeah, maybe because he had trouble starting that engine, maybe he just wanted to run it up and...
Tower, Cherokee 566, doing from holding short, runway 4 left, request a momentary delay on the runway, please.
Not quite off, going to the right a little bit, so a little right rudder. There you go.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad.
663,
yeah, it was okay.
Tower, use
You didn't let the nose down, you got off, you let it accelerate, and accelerate to 63, we're clear of any obstacles.
Make a left, drive runway 4 left, runway 4 left, clear for takeoff.
63.
Runway 4 left, clear for takeoff, 566, uniform.
And 63 uniform with that momentary delay approved, please.
Cherokee 60 uniform, momentary delay is approved.
Yeah, thanks.
Cherokee 22 Tango, right turn southbound approved.
Right turn southbound approved, Cherokee 22 Tango.
Okay, so we got approved for the right turn to the south, and no more than 30 seconds later, Larry put me under the hood. For those that don't know, the hood is a view-limiting device that forces a pilot to see only the instrument panel in front of him and blocks visibility to the outside of the aircraft. It's used only with an instructor or a safety pilot in the cockpit who can watch for traffic and other possible issues to practice instrument flying. You'll hear Larry giving me vectors and altitudes, simulating what air traffic control might give me if I ever inadvertently flew into IMC or instrument meteorological conditions, where I couldn't see any references outside the airplane and was forced to fly only by instruments. As a non-instrument rated private pilot, you're never supposed to be in this situation. That's what the instrument rating is for. But it is taught during primary training so that a pilot knows what to do if it happens inadvertently.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and put the hood on? I'll just... Got it? I got the airplane there, so... Okay, I was going to trim you for the...
Tower, Seneca 3111.
Okay, it's all yours.
Ready for
and you're on the clock here. And 22 Tango, turn right heading 180.
Seneca 31110, right. Chandler Tower,
right heading what?
runway 4 left position. This is going to be taxi back.
Yeah, we're just going to do one turn around the pattern and do a full stop. 710.
Scan. Center of your scan is the attitude indicator out and back to every instrument. Don't omit anything. Don't fixate on anything. That's about a standard rate turn rate.
Seneca 31110, Chandler Tower, make left, traffic runway 4 left. Use caution for the motor operating on the left-hand side just at hotel. Runway 4 left, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 4 left-hand traffic, Seneca 110.
And since you're doing this, oops. Yeah, that's okay. When you see something you don't like, just slowly go take it back to where you originally had it. Everything's smooth. Like I said, even if it's not going where you want it to go and you look at it, most of the time it's a fairly smooth reaction to it, except for those unusual attitudes.
Charlie with you on 126.
Find yourself going down below the speed, you look up at the airspeed indicator just before the attitude indicator. You pull that power off right away. Take that fuel boost pump off if you like. That's the one on the left there.
We're currently 5 miles to the east, inbound for the helipad with uniform.
Target 70562, inbound from the east, Chandler Tower 133.1, please.
133.1.
3500. And obviously in a constant airspeed climb, you're The pitch attitude you should obtain will be dictated by that airspeed indicator. You just put it on a pitch attitude, and right now you got it a bar width above the horizon.
660 uniform, Chandler Tower, runway 4 left, clear to land.
Runway 4 left, clear land, 566 uniform.
Oh, we're looking for traffic here. I don't see anybody. Oops, 3,500. Yep, a little too much. Yeah, well, we'll see what keeps us in level flight, and if we need to adjust that little attitude indicator to put the little airplane right on the horizon. That's pretty close. Pitch, power, trim, and lean then, just like... Okay, let's tune it. I already put the Stanfield VOR on there for you since I think I decided to do this first here.
Okay.
How's that little airplane? Is it showing a climb or is it pretty much straight and level?
It's showing a bit of a climb.
Maybe there or something.
Yeah.
That's nice and straight and level.
Yep.
All I really want you to do right now is take me right straight to the Stanfield VOR.
Cherokee 60 uniform, continue around the corner, remain the strict seat taxi to runway 4 left via Alpha Delta.
Okay, as you heard, Larry had tuned in the Stanfield VOR for me, and now I needed to identify it. You can do this by listening to the transmission from the VOR, which usually has identification information in an audible format. The main ID is a unique Morse code identifier that you'll hear in this next sequence. Larry also had me switch to a different VOR eventually, the Phoenix VOR.
I've slaved the DME, by the way, to nav 1 by hitting the DME button here. Okay. And nav 1 over here to the right, and the DME showing us we're 16 miles. Let's just track to it for a few minutes here. And it's a heading of 180, so it's not far off, so maybe, 185? Yeah. 190.
And 219, switch over to Chandler. I appreciate your help. You have a good day. Sure, Chandler, Tower 126.1. Good day, sir.
Okay, you're 14.5, tracking to that station. I'll give that just another mile or so. Exactly how you do it, IFR. If this was an airway on a low altitude chart, you were tracking a VOR, you can see it just drifting a little to the left, so I'd come back to 180.
Phoenix approach, Bonanza 824, 2 Tangos, currently 1700 miles southeast of the Gateway
And you just got a 5-degree correction, maybe initially just watch it very carefully. When it starts to drift, you start making little corrections. I find most people S their way down this tracking a VOR. They make too big a correction.
Tango, Phoenix approach call 5364.
Just going to have you do dual duty here. Okay, now since you're tracking to there pretty good, it's a little bit to the left. It would be just a minor correction maybe from this distance out. We're 13.1 miles. Keep my eyes open for traffic here. Hold on 1 second. Let's go ahead and listen to Stanfield for a moment here. Okay, now I want you to take me to the Phoenix VOR. I've got that on in standby here.
Okay.
There you go. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's standard rate. Am I clear on the right? You're clear on the right. That's standard rate right there.
Stanfield traffic, Cessna 5148 Victor is 11 miles north of the VOR. Looking to enter the hold and shoot some approaches.
Ground traffic, Cessna 53 Golf, crossing the VOR, inbound VOR for runway 5.
Somewhere out here where we're at. Now we went a little to the left of the course in the turn, so we'll have to come back a few more degrees.
I also turned it a little.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, just trying to
Stanfield traffic, Bonanza 1570 Alpha, 10 miles northwest of the VOR.
Go back and intercept that radio. Yeah, you just come a little bit more than 330 degrees. It's not far off, but... And we're 22 miles from the Phoenix VOR. Pretty simple stuff, really, but might as well review it quickly.
5148 pictures now 10 north of the VOR. We're planning to enter at 3,000.
Okay, you've got about a whatever degree intercept that is. You're on heading of north.
I think I'll go to 33.
Okay. So standing heading of north. That's about 30 degree intercept angle. Follow it for just that 30 degree intercept for just a few miles here. We'll see if we get the needle moving back in. 300 degrees is probably pretty good heading. Let's double check our magnetic compass with our directional gyro real quick. That's showing a heading of about 20 degrees. So we got a big intercept angle there.
Yeah.
So that should start moving back in. Let's wait till it moves back in, and then we get more like a 40 degree, 45 degree intercept angle. So.
Ground traffic, Cessna 53 Golf.
They're moving much, is it? No, start moving.
VOR runway 5.
Going to be pretty close, yeah.
I just want to make sure we're getting definite movement in there, intercepting that radial, because we're going to turn you around here in a minute. It's moving in, just creeping in slowly but surely.
I'm going to do a real shallow bank to the left.
Yeah, it's just taking its time, that's all. Turn you around here in a minute so we don't fly back into Chandler's airspace. What's wrong?
Oh, it's just, it's real interesting because it feels like we're in a right bank.
Is that right? You get a little vertigo here or something?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's fine, but it's a good exercise. It's showing me I can't trust my inner ear.
When I used to fly IFR, I used to get the feeling when I break in and out of clouds, I probably told you that. If I was going through broken clouds and you could suddenly in your peripheral vision see the ground underneath you, then you're in the clouds and the ground, then see the ground, then see nothing. Every single time I did that, I get the feeling, and I was usually on the left side of the airplane when that happened, and I probably happens depending on which side of the airplane I'm sitting on. But when I see the ground, I feel like the plane was rolling over to the left. I'd have this distinct feeling that the plane's rolling upside down. And I just ignored it and looked at the instruments, and as long as I looked at that and believed them, it went away pretty quick. I kind of knew what was happening. Okay, 22 Tango, descend and maintain 3,000 feet.
Constant speed?
Yeah, let's try to make it 90, so we'll reduce that bar a little bit, simultaneously drop the nose of needles about a bar width below the horizon, see if we can stay at about 90 on a heading of 210. Again, if you had to, you could trim the airplane too in a descent like this. Say you had to descend down through some clouds.
It was already trimmed for 90 knots, right? So I should just be able to reduce power.
Yeah, you should be able to reduce power, and maybe it stays right there. But what I'm saying is whatever descent speed you go at, as long as it's trimmed, you can descend with your hands off and maintain a heading. It's pretty easy to descend down through some clouds. I think it'd probably be the easiest thing to do if you were on top. Of course, I wouldn't do that unless I was talking to somebody, because you want to run into anybody or anything. So just a constant airspeed descent. Keep the wings level. Doesn't involve any turning, and you're just suddenly you'd pop out the bottom of the clouds.
Fixated a little bit.
That's okay. And like you said, you look up and see it's not doing what you want it to do, just gently put it back where it should be. You don't want to get it moving real fast in one direction or the other and get that vertigo feeling. Yep. Again, the key to telling you is if you ever inadvertently went IFR, and it could be a situation you're just flying along and suddenly rain showers started. I think I told you the only time I've been IFR down here, I was on an IFR flight plan, but it was raining, and it was clear, and then pockets of heavy rain, and I just flew into the rain showers. But I've heard of guys just flying along, and suddenly rain showers started, and your visibility gets greatly reduced. Well, you better get right on the instruments once you can't see outside, once you can't see the ground beneath you. Okay, 22 Tango, turn left heading 150.
Left 150.
Yeah, we don't have a lot more to do. We're almost done in 18 minutes already. Might do just a touch more. And 22 Tango, descend and maintain 2,500.
2,500.
And while in the descent, 22 Tango, turn left heading 120.
20.
Went over a little.
That's okay. Airplane right on the horizon. As you slow down, go ahead and add some power back in. And 22 Tango, turn left heading 100 and descend and maintain 2,000 feet.
100.
I think I did this way already once. We're going to try it again. And 22 Tango left to 090.
090.
There's 2,000 feet heading 090. And 22 Tango, descend and maintain 1,900.
1,900.
And left to 080.
080.
If I give you minor corrections here. 080. And 22 Tango left to 070.
070.
Descend and maintain 1,800.
1,800.
And left to heading 060. Keep you busy here. Left to 050. Down to 1,700. Left to heading 040. And left to heading 030. Left heading 020. Down to 1,600. Left heading 010. Left heading 360. Just keep your turn going. And down to 1,600. Left heading 355.
We're going to heading off 090 at
Left heading 345.
Request another view. I'll approach into Gateway.
You can look up. I didn't quite get you on the runway there.
Okay, so he had me look up, and in front of me was a little dirt strip that I had landed on in my stage check a few days before. He had lined me up with the runway using the vectors he had given me, even though I couldn't see outside of the airplane. It was pretty cool to look up and see the runway there. Larry had me put the hood back on and continue to practice as I climbed away from that dirt strip.
Okay, you can go ahead back on the hood. And 22 Tango, climb and maintain. Descending, climb and maintain 3,000 feet.
Northeast of the Willie, correction 2 miles north of the Willie VOR. Fly heading 090, back to the final course. Maintain the VOR 3,500.
And your current
And that's 242 Tango, fly heading of 090, maintain VOR 3,500.
Just do one quick unusual attitude.
Time start 901 Mike, contact Gateway Tower 124.75.
Contact Tower 124.75, on Mike.
Phoenix approach, Skyline 16 Charlie with you 8,000.
Warrior 422 Tango, during your climb, let's turn left heading
216 Charlie, future approach Phoenix South, 2983. Say destination, please.
2983, destination Grand Canyon, GCN.
Thank you.
And then Larry did a couple of unusual attitudes with the hood on. After that, he did some partial panel practice with me.
Now, right now, we'll just do a couple quick unusual attitudes because we're not quite as high. So, again, I usually start out by showing people, and did Brian do like steep diving turn?
I don't remember what he did.
Okay, we'll just let you look at it today because what they're going to do is yank and bank you. Next time we come out, we'll just have you put your head down all the time.
Okay.
But one of the attitudes they put you in is a steep diving turn. They can do anything with you. And the first thing you do in an unusual attitude, you're looking down, they get you all screwed up. You look up, the very first thing is the airspeed indicator.
Yep.
If that's climbing rapidly, you want to just jerk that throttle back to idle.
Or if you see lots of black here,
And
right?
you look right over to this. After you've pulled the throttle off, because speed is your enemy there, you want to just level the wings first and pull up if you're in a turn. If you're already level, you just simply gently raise the nose. But in a turn, you want to level the wings first and then pull up. Okay. The opposite of that is if you're at a nose high, decreasing airspeed, you look up and you're going real slow. Well, you push the nose over and add power simultaneously. You're not worried about getting the wings level because you're not going to overstress the airplane. So we'll just do this together. You can just look at the instruments and we'll just go. This might be what it looks like. You're going down like that, and as you see it up, pull the power all the way up, just yank it off, and then level the wings, and gently pull the nose up to the horizon. Once the wings are level, this is stopped. It reverses course. That's right on the horizon. Put it on the horizon. The airspeed's now going down, and you're going to go ahead and add power back in. But the first thing you want to do is just jerk that power right off, and I mean just don't be hesitant about just jerking that throttle right to idle. And the other attitude is this. I mean, obviously, you'll see just look at it here. We'll do this together. They might trim it. So if you looked up and saw this, when I let go, it's going to go down. But you push down and add power because you see the airspeed was down to 40. Don't worry about getting the wings level. Just add power right in full power and get the nose down. And then once you're level again, there you go. We've done 26 minutes. Holy cow. Okay, 22 Tango, turn left heading 180. 180. What was our hops time when we started, by the way? Back there. Don't worry about it. It's back there. Yeah, we've done almost half an hour under the hood. I've kind of combined the VOR a little bit with your hood work here.
What was the heading? I'm sorry.
180.
180. Okay.
It was 0.2. Oh, we got just a few seconds left. Since you're so good at this, I want to try out my little stickers, see if they work. They'll let you get out of heading of 180, and there's nobody in your direction as you're turning here. So you get to do a little partial panel for a moment here. So again, as a VFR pilot, never wanting to get in this situation, the vacuum pump fails, it'd be best to cover up.
Tiger 01.
That's going to be your primary for
that's what
keeping the wings level, and this is for pitch attitude. Your altimeter's for pitch. And if you had to make a turn now we were on a heading of 180. Now, if we're going to turn 90 degrees to the left, you turn for 30 seconds right in a standard rate turn. So let's try it for the heck of it, and I'll look at my watch and tell you when to stop here. Watch your altitude there. Yep. Your primary for pitch is altimeter. You can tell you're going up, and you can watch your airspeed for pitch also. Okay, let's make a 30-second standard rate left turn, then we'll take the little sticky thing off, although I don't have it totally covered up there, but
I can't see anything.
Yeah, that's okay. And we're basically on a heading of south. So let's try a standard rate turn. When I tell you to start a standard rate turn to the left.
You'll tell me to start and end?
Yeah, I'll tell you to start. Go ahead and start now. Get in a standard rate turn, and I'll time for 30 seconds. Okay, 28:32, 29:32 is what we're looking for. Standard rate turn, just to do a 3 degree per second. I think it's going to be more than that. 30 seconds here. We're going to do about 5 more seconds. Okay, roll wings level. That should have been 90 degrees, so it should be about 090. Pretty close.
Not bad.
Yeah, just for a time turn. Again, if you're in IFR conditions, you could be looking up and looking at your wet compass here, by the way.
Yeah.
And, okay, I'm going to vector you back to the airport here, I think. Yeah, we probably don't have to do a lot of this partial panel, actually. This is more for IFR stuff, but it's all right. We'll just keep it on there. And 22 Tango descended, maintained 3,000 feet. Again, your primary for pitch will be the altimeter. Where this would be a little more difficult is in turbulence. That turn coordinator might be bouncing up and down.
Yeah, we had that other time.
So that's going to affect you. You know, the other thing about this we're doing is that you'd have to recognize there was a failure here.
Right.
And if you see a rolling, and that's why you got to scan all the instruments. Scan, interpret, and control the airplane. So you see that's level, and this one's not. Something's failed. So you have to start scanning all the instruments, get at least 3 instruments in agreement with each other. In other words, if this is showing straight and level, and that's showing a turn, and this isn't, your compass isn't showing a turn. This is if you're looking at all the instruments. If your DG's not showing a turn, and this is showing a turn, and this is not showing a turn, you pretty much know that it's this that has failed. But
landing and departing runway 22 left and right. Notice airmen, multiple obstructions in the vicinity of Chandler Airport up to 310 feet AGL. Departing aircraft, advise ground control, direction of flight. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Victor.
Now this is, like I said, for private pilots, they're not usually doing partial panel. I suspect you wouldn't be in conditions long enough, but hey, for all I know, you're flying an airplane that when you take off, the attitude indicator isn't working that great. You just flown this airplane around almost 35 minutes. So you can see if you actually win in IFR conditions, you have the ability to fly this airplane. You just, I tell people, take a deep breath, relax, do just what you're doing right here. Keep it under control. It's first thing, that's obviously the very first thing to do is keep the plane under control. Okay, we're going to make a 90-degree left turn here in a minute. Matter of fact,
are you going to time it?
Yeah, go ahead and start anytime you're ready. Go ahead and start now, and I'll give you 30 seconds. Standard rate turn. Actually, I'm going to have you roll out because we're going to end up roll out on this heading right here. That'll put us right towards the airport. And you can take the hood off if you like, because you've done almost 36 minutes. And you're heading right towards the airport. Information, Victor. Very nice job. Very nice. I hope I made it a little bit challenging for you. You seemed to do that so easily. I said, I'm going to have to start.
Yeah, you were task loading me. That's for sure.
I should start do some slow flights, steep turns, and stalls under the hood here. And we'll do a couple of those for the fun of it. Then we'll do a short field landing when you come back.
Short field, okay.
Yeah. Nobody talking on the radio here. It's pretty quiet.
Yeah, we're on 1331, com 1. Okay.
Chandler Tower, Cherokee 4122 Tango, 6 miles south of the field, 3,000 feet. We have information, Victor, and we're inbound for a full stop.
Cherokee 4122 Tango, Chandler Tower. Make right traffic and right 4 right, report that one, unless you'd like a base entry.
A base entry will be fine.
Cherokee 22 Tango, disregard amendment instructions. Make left traffic for runway 22 left, report that one. Information, Victor's count.
Left traffic 22 left. We'll make left traffic for 22 left and report downwind Cherokee 22 Tango.
Yeah, you got a little confused there, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, 36 minutes under the hood, some partial panel, some unusual attitudes, and some VOR work. Sounds like a pretty productive morning. I'll continue with the approach and short field landing.
Proceeding to direct
short field okay with you?
Yep.
Okay.
So it's 5-3 Golf traffic, heading to your left 2 miles, 3 miles, 2,200 Cherokee, entering a direct downwind. Number 2, follow that traffic inbound, sir.
Looking for the traffic, Cessna 5-3 Golf, we'll follow them.
Thank you.
Chandler Tower, Cherokee 22 Tango's on downwind.
Cherokee 22 Tango, runway 22 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, 22 left, Cherokee 22 Tango.
This is 5-3 Golf. Traffic's almost a beam into your left, slightly ahead. 2,200.
Cessna 5-3 Golf, I think I have the traffic at 12 o'clock. Cessna Tower, Cherokee 566.
Okay, pre-landing.
660, uniform, roger, thank you.
Yep,
it's not over there. 5-3 Golf, roger, thank you. Number 2, follow that traffic inbound.
Yeah, we'll make it full rich, maybe.
Number 2, follow.
I thought you were a little flat on this one?
Yeah.
So you were a little too low?
Yeah, a little flat, and I landed kind of flat.
Oh, okay.
On both of them, actually.
Oh.
A little low, aren't I?
Yeah, that's okay. We want to get on the lower portion of the glide path. So, no, I think you look okay here. If you want to see 3 red and a white, and like I've always said, you're not necessarily using that 3 red and white. We are here, but you just want to eyeball what that lower portion of the glide path is. Actually, we're a little higher. Get down here a little bit, right?
Check 60 uniform, number 2, follow Cherokee, short final runway 22 left, clear to land, that traffic's off for a full stop.
Number 2, clear to land, has that traffic in sight, 5660 uniform.
Cessna 5-3 Golf, number 3, follow the Cherokee midfield downwind, runway 22 left, clear to land, that traffic is also a full stop.
Number 3, follow the Cherokee, 22 left, clear to land, Cessna 5-3 Golf.
Just above the numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to pick that spot when you want to pull that power. It's a little bit. No, just go ahead and land it. Go ahead. Constant rate of descent here. That's okay. We'll work on that. Yeah, flaps elevator braking. Yeah, a lot of it is in the judgment of when I pull the power. I have it coming down like that, and I said, okay, I got enough momentum here. I head for the numbers all the time. I'll pull the power, use up my last bit of energy to get down to the numbers, then I pull, and I get just beyond the numbers and touch down.
Check 2 and Tango, hold short on runway, correction, check 22 Tango, hold short at 22 right, remain the 16.
Hold short at 22 right, remain this frequency, Cherokee 22 Tango.
All right, well, you heard my frustration on that landing. I pulled the power too late for this short field landing and overshot my point because I had too much energy when I should have been touching down. These performance landings are pretty tricky. I really need some repetition so I can nail where I should be using sight and feel. Sometimes they're okay, and sometimes, like this time, they're not okay. I've got to become more consistent, and I'm hoping that happens as I continue to practice. So that should do it for this episode. I do want to make a quick suggestion because of the frequency of my releases as of late. If you use iTunes, there's a setting there that you should check to be sure that you're not missing episodes because you didn't get a chance to listen before I release the next one. The default setting in iTunes is to download only the latest episode. So if you don't get a chance to listen to the current one in time and I release a new one, you won't get it. So to do this, in iTunes, click on the setting buttons at the bottom of the podcast section. And in the dialog box that comes up, make sure that Download All is chosen next to the option when new episodes are available. As usual, if you'd like to contact me, feel free to send me an email at bill@studentpilotcast.com or utilize the contact page at the website www.studentpilotcast.com. If you're going to be at AirVenture in Oshkosh this year, please let me know. I'm trying to arrange my schedule so that I can make it, but I'm just not sure yet. Also, don't forget to check out the second annual Potapalooza that's going to go on at Oshkosh this year. If you wait to the end of this episode, you'll hear a little advertisement about it. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it yet, but I'm sure going to try. Whether I go or not, though, I'm still going to be a pilot. Music for today's audiocast is the song To Be an Angel from the great Canadian band Uncle Seth. You can get more information and subscribe to the Student Pilot audiocast using iTunes, Zune, or any other podcatcher at www.studentpilotcast.com.
Friar Tuck's has placed its volume order for Leinenkugel's Summer Shandy. They're checking the North 40 for gopher holes, and silk scarves hang ready for pickup at dry cleaners across the country. AirVenture Oshkosh 2008 is approaching quickly, and you know what that means. Potapalooza 2008. Come see and hear the annual gathering of aviation podcasters scheduled at the Forums on the AirVenture grounds Friday, August 1st, right after the air show. Can't join us at the Forums? Be sure to listen to EAA Radio AM 1210 and FM 100.7. Potapalooza is tentatively slotted to be broadcast live on EAA Radio on Friday with possible repeat broadcasts over the ensuing days. Potapalooza 2008, scheduled for Friday, August 1st, after the air show at the Forums on the grounds of EAA AirVenture 2008. Be there.